Welcome back, and we're now at part 3 of the Mevo Start review, in which we will torture test the streaming quality and streaming stability of this live streaming camera. I mean, it's what it's meant for. So let's dive right in without further ado. On Wi-Fi, as long as your network is not too congested and you have fast internet, you can get 5.9 megabits sustained for 1080p. Now to see how it operates on a congested network, I put it onto my smart home network that also does Apple TV and everything. And that gave a semi-sustained 1.9 megabits per second. So the Mevo Start app and firmware, whatever, automatically adjusted according to just how congested the network was. Now when switching over LTE with my iPhone, I got a sustained 1.9 megabits per second in my home. Now my home only gets max of 3 bars, so your mileage may vary, but I wanted to torture test this a little bit. I wanted to go out into the open, into a park, and see just how stable my stream was in the wide open. And I was able to actually stream pretty continuously just having that Mevo set in the stationary setup. And I was able to actually move the phone away from the Mevo up to around 30 feet before there was a cutout. Once again, your mileage may vary depending on where you're shooting. Now the bitrate was very iffy around the park though, using LTE. It went from 2.0, 1.5, 0.2, and all that, you know, everything in between. So I'm sure if your stream has a lot of movement in it, you're gonna get a lot of variance in quality. Now going handheld, things got really macro blocky, especially when the bitrate dropped a bit. I wouldn't really go handheld with this thing at all when you're outside and you don't have a really solid internet connection to stream from. Now, I wanted to drive around the neighborhood with this in my car using my iPhone LTE and see just how it responds to all the variances of the cell service and also interference driving around homes with their own Wi-Fi networks and stuff. Now, when driving on the neighborhood main roads, I didn't really get that much of a problem. The Mevo adapted to the bit rates, changes and stuff like a champ. Now, when I got into the cul-de-sacs and seriously got lost, then we got dropout. What's good is that along with the YouTube live service, Mevo just kept streaming, reconnecting. There were dropouts for a few seconds, but the show goes on. I mean, if shit hits the fan for just a little bit during your live stream, the show will go on, so you can count on that. But of course, if shit really hits the fan and splatters over everything, and you lose signal for like a really long time, I don't know if anything's gonna help you. So what is my overall review of this thing, and who is this thing for? I think that this is pretty much a quintessential move up from streaming from your iPhone. For the pros out there who have already been live streaming with different setups like a live switcher, this may seem kind of a weird thing to have in your kit or to consider in your kit. You could consider it for BTS streaming. So if you want a cool little Periscope or YouTube Live, Facebook of a production that's going on, then this could be really fun and a pretty simple to set up option. At $299, I think it is worth not having to bog your phone down, drain its battery and such, and honestly, it's just rock solid with that long battery life. Now there's a huge caveat because the app does allow you to put on-screen graphics onto your stream if you have a Vimeo Premium account. And that costs more than $1,000 a year. So if that's a must-have, then that's gonna be a big downer for you guys. We're gonna see where things go when this releases in April. But overall, as a piece of hardware and basic live streaming camera, this is pretty awesome to add into your kit for simplicity's sake. And that wraps up our in-depth review of the Mevo Start. I would love to hear your thoughts though, you, the viewer, about what you think about this camera. Are you considering buying it? And if it's a definite yes, how you're planning to use it. So it's coming out in April. Are you pre-ordering it? Let me know and leave in the comments why. Also subscribe because, you know, that's the thing to do because I want to see those numbers tick up so I keep on actually doing these. Otherwise, I'm just gonna take all these cameras and just like crush them in anger of what have I done with my life? It has flown off the screen. Just kidding, it's still here.